Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting episode. My name is Chunk Zeah, and I am on my X-treme One-Chunk Ironman journey. In our previous adventure, we were fortunate enough to roll 4 new chunks, which led us to unlock new best-in-slot gear and significantly broaden our world map. In today's episode, we're brimming with action. We have rolled a chunk with a shooting star landing site and prepared for a grueling combat encounter that could span hundreds of hours. Our journey takes us deep into a fresh combat challenge against the formidable Shazian headguard. Rest assured, this episode will not draw to a close until our daunting adversary is defeated. The RuneScape map is segmented into chunks. Using the X-treme One-Chunk Ironman rules, I adhere to an extreme approach using Limpwort's rules. This is requiring me to accomplish all tasks within my designated chunk before progressing to the next one. This entails obtaining and equipping best-in-slot drops, shop items, and rewards for all 3 combat styles. I strive to conquer the most challenging skilling tasks, complete quests, achievement diaries, and comeback tasks as far as possible. Additionally, I will fill out every collection log slot and complete all mini-games. In my previous episode, I achieved a significant milestone by completing the Hosidius starting chunk. In my journey, I reached a cooking level of 58, enabling me to bake pita bread. This was accomplished by cooking raw beef from the northern cow pen and baking thousands of apple pies with supplies from Logava Gricoler's cooking supplies store. In addition, I reached level 40 in thieving, allowing me to pickpocket from Hosidius guards. Fortune smiled upon me as I received Rocky at an early level of 55 in thieving, a truly lucky drop. I then rolled my first chunk, unlocking the cooking mess chunk. This provided me with a new bank and a convenient place to refill jugs with water, essential for baking stew, my best-in-slot food. With no new requirements added, I rolled another chunk, unlocking the Hosidius Peninsula. This chunk revealed magic trees, several fishing spots, and hobgoblin spawns. However, without the necessary tools for fishing or woodcutting, my only new requirement was to defeat hobgoblins for their 1 in 128 drop of a steel longsword. After securing the steel longsword, I rolled yet another chunk, unlocking the Hosidius Vinery. As no farming training methods were unlocked, the Hosidius Vinery did not add any new requirements. I rolled another chunk and unlocked the Tithe Farm chunk. Despite not having access to the Tithe Farm minigame, this chunk did present me with several sand crab spawns. Interestingly, sand crabs drop an iron pickaxe, unlocking the mining skill once I gain access to a suitable rock. The Tithe Farm minigame also marked the unlocking of my first Lovaking minecart station, enabling me to unlock any chunk that the minecart can transfer me to. It's worth noting that the requirement to have been to a specific minecart before being able to travel to it using the minecart system was removed in the game update on January 10, 2024. After obtaining the iron pickaxe from a sand crab, I rolled my next chunk, the Piscarilius station. This chunk introduced me to a formidable adversary, the Shazian Guard. In this episode, I will devise a strategy to defeat him. So, stay tuned and join me on this thrilling journey.
Journey with me to Gielinor. From Ashdale, a world to explore. In search of the book of a
beyond reckoning. We were born to do this quest, searching over the driven snow, oceans, deserts and caves, fighting dragons and sorcerers, sending monsters to their graves.
These were my stats when I rolled this chunk on February 11th, 2024. Initially, this chunk grants access to a shooting star landing site. I've already secured a pickaxe from a sand crab. However, I'm currently without any unlocked mining training methods, as no mining rocks are unlocked, leaving me without a method to elevate my mining level to 90. Upon unlocking a mining training technique in an upcoming chunk, I'll be tasked with the challenge of training my mining level from 1 directly to level 90. This chunk also features a highwayman. I quickly defeated one and obtained my new best-in-slot cape. This cape increases my defensive stats. It is officially now Black Cape season. Now let's delve into the primary challenge of the chunk, the Shazian Headguard. This formidable level 84 adversary wields a dragon longsword and a dragon square shield. My mission is to secure 2 specific drops, a rune scimitar and a rune kite shield. Both items have a drop rate of 1 in 512, adding a layer of difficulty to the task. Flinching the Hosidius Headguard is indeed an option, with a multitude of flinching spots at our disposal. However, it's a notably time-intensive process, averaging around 10 minutes per kill. Let's delve into the mathematics of it. My weapon of choice, the steel spear, operates on a 4-tick cycle, launching an attack every 2.4 seconds. According to the RuneScape Wiki DPS calculator, the average time to secure a kill is 219 seconds. This translates to 1 kill approximately every 3.5 minutes. When employing the flinching strategy, the optimal attack rate is every 8 ticks, which effectively doubles my kill time to 438 seconds per kill. Achieving this kill time is unlikely due to the Headguard's ability to regenerate life points, as well as the difficulty in maintaining an 8-tick cycle precisely over extended periods. Therefore, let's round up the average kill time to a more realistic 600 seconds, or 10 minutes, averaging out to 6 kills per hour. Given these conditions, it would take a staggering 85 hours of non-stop flinching to reach the drop rate of 1 in 528 for the rune scimitar and kite shield. As an alternative to flinching, I could decide to train my prayer level to 43 to unlock the Protect from Melee prayer. My fastest method to train prayer is to slaughter cows and bury their bones. To achieve this, I would need to bury a staggering 11,187 bones. Given my current gear and levels, I can manage to dispatch approximately 190 cows per hour. This means that the journey to attaining a prayer level of 43 would be a laborious grind spanning roughly 59 hours. Should I choose to enhance my prayer skill to level 43, it's crucial to note that I lack access to an altar for the replenishment of my prayer points. As a hardcore Ironman, succumbing to death isn't a viable alternative. Fortunately, there exists another solution: procuring jangerberries from the Hosidius fruit stall, albeit at a rate of 1 in 20. Consuming a jangerberry replenishes 1 prayer point each. To begin my preparation to face the Shazian Headguard, I began my prayer training by slaughtering cows for their bones. This was approved by Saradomin. Just listen.
Almighty Saradomin, welcome a new dawn on this horizon. Almighty Saradomin, come my divine spirits to glory. We are the
After achieving level 35 prayer by burying approximately 5,000 bones, something incredibly happened. The Zeah exclusive minigame, Organized Crime, unexpectedly spawned in the very field where I had been slaying cows. Initially, I assumed I wouldn't be able to participate, as it previously required favor with Zeah. However, following the January 2024 update, where favor was removed from the game, I found myself able to engage with the gang members. This granted me access to an entirely new drop table, featuring items such as a black scimitar, chain body, medium helmet, and plate skirt. Notably, they also occasionally drop the coveted rune scimitar at a rate of 1 in 80, making it my new best in-slot weapon. Organized crime is a distraction and diversion on Zeah that occurs once every 30 minutes, synchronized across all game worlds. During this event, multiple gangsters and a gang boss spawn. There are 36 different spawn locations across Zeah where these encounters can take place. Regrettably, I can only access a very limited number of these locations. Consequently, the time between participating in events becomes quite lengthy. With only a few kills per event, obtaining every unique item from the minigame will be a considerable grind. After only 14 gangster kills, I found something special. I acquired a rune scimitar drop from a gang member. This new best-in-slot weapon has significantly enhanced my combat abilities, dramatically improving my damage per second. My new rune scimitar more than triples my strength bonus, the biggest combat improvement my account has ever gotten. This changes everything. I can calculate the average time it takes to defeat a Shazian headguard using the old-school RuneScape wiki. Initially, when we started the video, each kill took an average of 219 seconds. However, after receiving the rune scimitar and significantly improving my combat stats from the 30s to the 50s, I managed to decrease my average kill time to just 66 seconds, more than 3 times faster. When employing the flinching technique, kill times dropped from around 10 minutes per kill to approximately 2 minutes and 15 seconds per kill. While flinching the Shazian head guard, I achieved 36 prayer. Levels are going a lot slower now. I embarked on a week-long challenge to flinch the head guard, hoping to secure the rune kite shield drop. This was attempted without training my prayer to level 43 for protection from melee. These are the daily kill counts and the corresponding loot totals. I was extraordinarily fortunate to secure the rune kite shield drop on my 92nd kill. This now becomes my new best-in-slot shield. It's quite a rarity to obtain a rune kite shield before even having any gear for the body or leg slot. My chance of receiving the rune kite shield at only 92 kill count is only 16%, or as the RuneScape wiki tells me, only Ironman can be this lucky. Having secured my rune kite shield, I've successfully completed all of my current chunk. Now, it's time to roll for a new one. I'd like to take a moment to remind you that in Episode 2, I unlocked the Zeah minecart system, which significantly expanded my potential chunk rolls. Now let's take a step back and rewind. The Lova Kenge minecart system functions as a two-way transportation network, connecting 13 distinct stations across Great Kourend. This newfound convenience will dramatically expand the number of rollable chunks in my next chunk roll. Notably, even some of the more daunting chunks, such as the Farming Guild, Chambers of Zarek, and Wintertot, boast their own minecart stations. Before I proceed with my next roll, let's take a brief look at the newly accessible chunks. The eastern chunk near the shoreline unlocks 22 sand crabs, as well as additional seaweed spawns. The eastern Hosidius shoreline chunk is utterly devoid of any activity. There are no monsters, no clue steps, no quests, and no item spawns. Just an entirely vacant chunk. I must admit I find this situation rather humorous. The chunk in Port Piscarilius provides me with access to the Trader's Stand trading post store. This opens up the availability of a new top-tier helmet, the Tyrus helmet. Additionally, it also unlocks soda ash and buckets of sand, which are essential for future crafting training. This chunk further allows me to navigate to Port Sarim. Thanks to the presence of a boat, the South Sand Crab's chunk shares the same fate. It is entirely devoid of activity. There are no monsters and no spawns to be found. The West Piscarilius chunk requires me to train my mining to level 90 to mine a tier 90 shooting star. The iron pickaxe, which I obtained as a drop from a sand crab, will be my tool for this task. To achieve the desired mining level, I will need to mine a total of 152,752 iron ores. The area south of Hosidius, which I call the Death Chunk, poses challenges that demand a cooking skill of 95 to bake a summer pie, and a farming level of 85 to grow a grimy tourstole in the unlocked herb patch. Notable features include magic trees for future woodcutting endeavors when I get an axe and my first altar on this account. Thankfully, I can already restore my prayer points by pilfering jangerberries from the fruit stall, with each berry eaten granting 1 prayer point. To achieve level 95 cooking, I will need to cook approximately 67,000 apple pies. The Hosidius monk camping site chunk boasts my first altar on my account. Additionally, it features a mining hotspot with a shooting star landing site, which necessitates reaching 90 mining using an iron pickaxe. Let's add this chunk to my list of death chunks. The Blood Altar chunk is accessible via the Lovakengje minecart network, but unfortunately, only a small portion of the chunk is walkable from the minecart station. Additionally, this chunk does not introduce any new requirements. Unlocking the Kingstown chunk grants access to a lesser demon spawn. To complete this chunk, it necessitates the acquisition of a rune medium helmet and a mithril chain body drop. The Forthos Ruins chunk is another death chunk for me. My gear is too limited. I will have to hunt Sarachnis if I roll that chunk. It has a 1 in 3,000 chance of dropping its pet. I also need to raise my crafting from 1 to 77 to make red dragonhide armor. Crafting leather armor is my only option to train crafting. I will need to use 39,881 cowhide to reach the required crafting level of 77. The Wintertot camp chunk doesn't introduce any new requirements, but it lies just 1 chunk away from the Wintertot minigame. If I roll the Wintertot minigame chunk, I'll need to obtain the Phoenix pet and secure a dragon axe drop. The cooking mess chunk, located to the south of Kourend Castle, necessitates the preparation of a servery pineapple pizza, a task achievable at level 65 cooking. This area also includes an entrance to Puro Puro, which becomes particularly daunting once I find a method to enhance my hunter level. However, the mining rocks within this region remain inaccessible unless additional chunks are unlocked. The Watson's House chunk unlocks the crafting skill by featuring a spinning wheel. This feature enables me to produce balls of wool and bowstrings, paving the way for substantial new grinds. The Combat Ring chunk provides me with the opportunity to battle for the Shazian armor, a crucial asset for defeating lizardmen shamans. This chunk is set to offer a tough combat experience. The Westwood cutting chunk doesn't introduce any new requirements. Unfortunately, I still lack access to an axe and cannot train my woodcutting level sufficiently to enter the woodcutting guild. The Lovakengje chunk doesn't introduce any immediate requirements, but it does include a shooting star landing site, which requires 90 mining once a mining training method becomes available. Additionally, there's a solitary iron rock and a furnace within this chunk. The Shazian Gate section doesn't introduce any new intermediate prerequisites, but it's surrounded by challenging sections. The Farming Guild chunk encompasses the Farming Guild, yet remains inaccessible to me due to the lack of a method for training my farming skill to reach level 45. Additionally, it unlocks fletching through a log spawn, necessitating the creation of sapphire bolts. Brace yourself. Rolling this chunk will be a lengthy grind. The Mount Quidamortem chunk, also referred to as the Chambers of Xeric chunk, is perhaps the most challenging of all chunks. To conquer it, I would need to master the chambers of Zeah in both normal and hard modes, collect all uniques, obtain pets, and achieve combat milestones. This formidable task could span years. Let's hope I don't roll this one. Many of these tasks may prove to be exceptionally challenging, but never underestimate my determination. My motivation is at an all-time high to tackle these substantial challenges. Let's roll a new chunk. Let's do this! Roll time! Please, not 2000 chamber of Zeah's hard mode kill count. Wow, this changes everything. The Port Piscarilius chunk has been unlocked. This will greatly expand my map of rollable chunks. Let's go and explore Port Piscarilius and see what it has to offer. Veos serves as a boatmaster, facilitating my journey between Port Piscarilius, Port Sarim, and Land's End. This method represents one of two possible routes to access the mainland. The Tyrus helmet will be my new best-in-slot helmet. I will need to buy it to complete the chunk. The charter ships allows me to roll 5 new chunks on the mainland. Many of these locations comes with very tough grinds. No, seagulls does not drop feathers. What a shame. Buying the Tyrus helmet is the only requirement to complete the Piscarilius chunk. It is also a significant upgrade and a new best-in-slot helmet. The season of the Tyrus helmet has officially commenced. This episode showcases remarkable progress, with significant enhancements to my armor and weapons. Additionally, I've rolled a new chunk. As we approach the conclusion of this episode, I'm about to roll the outro. I eagerly anticipate your presence for the next chunk roll in my upcoming episode.
Almighty Saradawin, welcome a new dawn on this horizon. Almighty Saradawin, come my divine spirits to glory. We are the holy light, strength of the burning sun, heroes of